Hello everyone and welcome to another Tamagotchi Uni video. This time I'm going to be talking about a special kind of blink and you'll miss it update that the Tamagotchi Uni has recently received. Now by recently I mean that it was actually added in an update from about a month or so ago actually, but was only just recently discovered by a Korean Tamagotchi fan by the name of Pink Alice. And it kind of just got added. In fact, it wasn't even added into the patch notes of the update, which is a fairly weird thing considering it's actually a feature that fans of the Tamagotchi Uni have been requesting and asking about since the Tamagotchi Uni's release back in July. So this is actually one of the negatives that I had about the Tamagotchi Uni and when I first started, and it's one that I've mentioned in various videos before, and that is the fact that there is no off functionality. So that was one of my main complaints about the Tamagotchi Uni when it was first released, and I was hoping, and each time I've done a video on it I've said, hey, there's still no off button, hopefully in a future update, but various people have asked Bandai on social media about an off button, and their responses have been along the lines of, just let the batteries run out, or once you charge your Tamagotchi you can turn it back on again, stuff like that, so not particularly helpful. However, it is fairly hidden as a feature, and it's actually something that people tried to see if it was there when it was first released in this technique. So I'll go over how to get the off button functionality going in this video. Unfortunately, it's not under any of the setting menus like I was kind of hoping, which is a shame. It would have fit quite nicely in there. Both the Vital Bracelet BE and the Digimon Color have it fairly accessible. This one's kind of hidden, which is a little bit of a shame. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to flip it over, you're going to grab a pointy thing like a screwdriver or any sort of blunt thing. I recommend blunt because you don't actually want to cause any damage to the reset button. And what you'll do is you'll just press the reset button in. Now, I just realized that this isn't narrow enough, so in that case you can use something like a piercing or jewelry or anything that is narrow and thin enough to get in there, and then it'll start up again, and then you'll press A and C just as it's on that startup screen, and you'll notice you get an extra option. You get the restore version and you'll get the off one in addition to continue, reset all, restore and off. Usually you'll just get the top two, but when you press A and C at the same time when you start it up, you'll get that off functionality as well, in addition to things before. So you press it in with your narrow pointy thing, and then you press A and C at the same time, and you've got to actually press it. I guess I didn't that time, but that's what will normally come up. But if you press A and C at the same time, just on that screen there, you'll get those extra two steps there, and you'll be able to turn it off. And then it'll tell you how to turn it back on again. Again, kind of a little bit weird that it hasn't always been there, and it's also kind of weird that it is fairly hidden. It's almost effectively in a debug menu. But previously there was no way to turn off the Tamagotchi Uni outside of just letting the battery run dead, which was annoying if I was, see that's the normal menu there. So yeah, it'd be quite an annoying thing if you're going to be busy for a few days, as the sitter only pauses your Tamagotchi or effectively looks after your Tamagotchi during the main chunk of the day. So if you're going to be busy at night, it doesn't really work for that. It's more if you are busy at work or school during that time. So of course there are other things that have been added in the update. of course, you just go to update and check for updates. It does do it automatically, even if your Tamagotchi Uni itself isn't, like, isn't fully charged. If it is kind of off, it's kind of in a sleep mode. Mine actually got all these updates while I wasn't running it for the past few months. And oddly enough, one of the reasons I haven't been running this is because it was just such a pain without the off button. I knew that if I was going to be running the Tamagotchi Uni, I effectively had to run it until it was out of battery. If I was busy for a long period of time, I was like, okay, I have to commit to it for about a week or so until the battery runs out, and then I can kind of have a break from it. So I kind of wasn't running my Tamagotchi Uni because of that. So now we have the off button. I immediately got back into it. So again, it's weird that it was kind of this hidden update. It wasn't in the patch notes. I'm fairly certain that I was reading that people said that it was probably around since at least December, and it's now late January, and we just found out about this update just in the last few days as of recording this. So that's kind of like a little bit of a weird thing to me, that it wasn't added in the patch updates, considering I'm sure Bandai knows how requested this functionality was. At least the social media people would be, because it's something that I've seen a lot of comments about. And yeah, it is kind of weird that it was just added as a patch notes. Maybe it was always meant to be there. Maybe they just, I don't know, it makes no sense to me why they wouldn't just add that to the patch notes, because it is a change. Like, if they say things like, oh, corrected various bugs, it's sort of like vague things like that. Did they consider it a bug? I don't know, but it is weird that it was just never mentioned in the patch notes. But I'm glad it's here. It is kind of weird that it's, again, hidden, and it's kind of weird that it wasn't there straight away. As I mentioned, both the Vital Bracelet BE and the Digimon Color, both also by Bandai, have off functionalities in the menu. The BE has it in the menu that you just scroll through, like the typical like A menu, which is what I would call it. The Digimon Color has it in a secondary menu that's not a care menu. It's got other settings like changing the background or changing the brightness or changing the volume level. And that's on like a C press. So it is kind of weird that you don't have to reset either of those with the reset button and kind of like go into a hidden menu with A and C. And it is weird that it was just a quick kind of like, we're not even going to add this to the patch notes update. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because it is something that I've mentioned in a lot of my previous videos on the Tamagotchi Uni, and it has been a pretty big negative for me personally about the lack of the off button, which feels like it's such a minor thing, but that's just been a huge negative for me, at least. Again, if I want to play with my Uni, I have to be committed to it for effectively a week until it runs out of battery, and if I've got 1 or 2 specifically busy days, I kind of have to like force myself to like pay attention to the Tamagotchi when I'm not able to get the sitter in on the device itself. But yeah, so wanted to cover that because, again, I know it seems like probably a minor thing, that it's just an off button, but again, for me it's a big thing, so hopefully this video was at least helpful to sort of show you how to turn it off, because it is, again, hidden. But in any case, that's it for this video. Let me know your comments, questions, etc., if there's anything that you hope that Bandai will be adding to the Tamagotchi Uni. Let me know that in the comment section below. Like this video for, oh my gosh, I've never been happier to have an off button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have subscribed, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies, and of course, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!